All right, and right into the ban phase. Of course, gonna have Central Florida on attack the first time here on Clubhouse, and gonna see probably the same ban that we saw last time. No, not gonna see it. So we're gonna see a Montaigne here. A little bit of use from that on Central Florida last time made it a little difficult for Ohio State. They know they can play it, and so they're gonna take it out this time.
Yeah, so we will see. Like we said, Ohio State will be defending here first on this side, on Clubhouse or on Coastline. I'm sorry, and yeah, so the Montaigne and the Glass ban on offense. So pretty standard bans there. I think the Montaigne caused a little bit of problems for Ohio State that they didn't expect there, even on some of those defensive rounds that they won, and the Glass ban last round as well. So just not being able to execute. We're going to see the Echo ban again from the side of CFU. So we will see if Ohio State decides to ban that mirror like they did last time, or potentially they have some strategy around either playing around the mirror or just letting it go through. But we'll see the mirror ban again. So I think the mirror and the Echo ban, two pretty strong bans on the side of defense, just really easy to kind of work around and have a lot of value for what they bring to the table.
Yeah, and Monty band's going to be interesting. We don't usually see Ohio State play Monty much, but of course, it might make it difficult to get intel. If there's a site where they feel like they're having difficulty getting in, it can make a difference. So definitely an interesting band there. Not one that you'd see in a pro league or anything, but definitely one that's pretty impactful here in Collegiate.
Yeah, and we will see Ohio State going with that Penthouse Theater hold. The last time we saw them on Wednesday, I think they decided to go for a little bit of a different approach, but we will see as they run a pretty standard setup here. Going to run the dock, and then everything else is something we've seen before. So going to have Ito back on that Jaeger to roam. And then from the side of UCF, we will see the Buck to really open up a lot of those soft floors, and a sledge here too. So I think maybe a little bit of reaction from some of the castles that they saw towards the end of Ohio State's defense, where they were really getting stalled out and really just losing a lot of time because they were stonewalled by some castle defenses. But other than that, going to be looking at the Thermite to really open up this area and circle couch that we're seeing to grant Central Florida a lot of pressure here onto this site. And everything else is pretty standard with the Ying and the Thatcher that they had brought a couple of their attacking rounds last time. But here on Coastline, I think Ohio State's really gonna depend on how Ohio State can execute on some of these defensive holds. We saw them gain a lot of momentum on the offensive side last time, and then carry it through towards the defensive attack. And we'll see if they can replicate that on the other side, considering some of these sites on Coastline are very strong to hold and gain you a lot of strong sight lines on unsuspecting players, or even force some of the attackers to push into you in disadvantageous positions. But a three-man room, it looks like here, with Clutch and Ito. Clutch is going to be right outside of that theater wall, so I technically call that a room, but him and Entry are going to be playing in that main hallway, so more of just an extended hold there on the defensive side. But Ito really off on his own here in the hookah lounge, but not going to have a rotation either, so he's going to be stuck there behind that couch, and if somebody comes in and pressures him off there, he's not going to be able to rotate out, at least through the wall. And we will see if he gets pinched from the side of UCF. But other than that, a pretty standard attack here from their side. And we will see if they can execute. Already a minute gone by. Just still droning here, which I think needed to be effective droning, as they lost a good amount of their time and their pressure last round due to just them not effectively droning. Gonna blow up that drop into bathroom, and it looks like the Ying is going to be pressuring onto the main window. So we will see if UCF can garner any advantages from the pressure that they've already gotten themselves. This stack here right around theater is going to really allow UCF to gain a couple of advantages into different positions. They don't know it yet, I think, but that B bomb site is completely empty, and Ito is off on his own here in billiards. The Buck from below is going to open up a lot of that floor and pressure Ohio State into a couple of different positions, but gonna waste a buck on the panning. A little bit of an interesting decision here, but Clutch gonna push down, not gonna peek the right way, and is going to trade it and actually find the kill onto Zev. So the toggle on to look around that corner, but to then find the kill onto the buck is actually a huge kill with only 40 seconds left here. An entry going to take a little bit of damage here, but playing that Doc going to be able to heal himself back up. And with 35 seconds left here, Ito is going to find another kill on to end. So just neglecting to clear out the roamer again here from the side of UCF. And with 25 seconds left here in the round, Ohio State's just going to have to hold this cross and hope that UCF doesn't pressure into the B-bomb site. Entry going to get a nice shot there onto SMH. And Ohio State just allowing UCF to kind of just walk into them and feed them kills. Aussie going to get a pick on an entry, but with this 10 seconds left, Clutch is going to get a kill on a gold, and it's going to be all up to Aussie as he is going to get picked by Ito, and that is going to be the round for Ohio State.
And just solid defense. I mean, they had 4 lives, so just not able to take out the people they needed to. And the roamers, for sure, as you said, really making a difference there. Making it really difficult to get inside, and of course the late push, as usual, makes it another round of going towards Ohio State.
Yeah, and it was really interesting there. I think if UCF either had a little bit more time to drone, or if they had saved a couple of their drones, they would have realized that Ohio State had really just kind of granted them that bomb site, that B bomb site for free, and UCF just decided not to take the advantage they've been given and kind of pushed into the arms of Ohio State. I mean, they had that 3-man stack right outside of theater and inside theater, and they just kind of opened up that soft wall in circle couch and just kind of watched as Ohio State kept picking them off. And we're not able to execute on that site. So we will see Ohio State move to the kitchen and service entrance. So opting to go there instead of the hookah lounge, I think more of a comfort thing than anything. But yeah, I think UCF definitely had the position to get an easy plant down. They just, I think, probably thought it was so easy that they thought there was no way Ohio State was giving it to them for free. But a good roam there from the side of Ito to pressure out some of the missing information on UCF, and we will see how Ohio State can hold this service entrance.
Yeah, and a little bit more difficult of a site to hold on defense. Of course, they'd like to be on the other site, and so they'll be back there next time. But for now, gonna try a kind of interesting strat, opening up the whole floor here from the smoke. Probably gonna have somebody watching through that bathroom. Of course, that does mean that they do have to hold this entrance as well as the main entrance.
Yeah, whoever is going to be playing in that bathroom is for sure going to be at risk to be pinched from the main entrance or from the bathroom entrance. So we will see how they are able to execute, and if UCF can kind of pressure that player that will potentially be playing in that site.
Yeah, and we are going to see the Zofia kind of come onto this window, so it's going to be interesting whether able to make an effective attack. Actually going to go upstairs, make it a little bit easier on Captain Clunch.
Yeah, so we will see if the Zofia, as that has kind of been the flex pick, off of the buck on this site. I think this site you can honestly pick buck on the above site and on the lower site, considering the floor works both ways and it's kind of weak to either side, either whether you're playing it from below or you're playing it from above. But we will see the sledge instead. I think that utility is just as useful as the buck, honestly. And the Zofia to either concuss or open up some more sightlines, and the Ying as well. But for the side of Ohio State, a pretty standard defensive setup here with the 3-man roam and the 3-man defensive holding the double roamer. Ito's going to get a pick onto gold early, so putting themselves in another advantageous position. I think Ito has really kind of come alive in these last couple of rounds, including some of the rounds on defense, and just really been in his element, stalling out UCF and causing them to waste a lot of their time. Now, Zev is going to get a frac onto entry, so that is going to be the dock down and not being able to utilize a lot of that, the healing that he brings. But we will see as SMH gets a pick onto Clutch through the hole in the bathroom. And with a minute and 15 seconds left, it will be all up to UCF to kind of execute on the advantages that they have already found themselves. Ito has roamed back onto the B-bomb site, and it will now be up to him to hold this service entrance and the bathroom entrance, as it looks like The rest of Ohio State will hold towards that 8 entrance and into Sunrise Bar. So Central Florida primed themselves for a main attack, and Ito's going to take a little bit of damage from above there, and I think he did see somebody in the main entrance area, but with 40 seconds left here, it's going to really be dependent upon UCF kind of forcing their way in here now, as Ohio State has a couple of advantageous angles, and the Smoke and the Maestro still left with most of their utility, if not all. The diffusers being left in that main entrance area, more than likely as a safety precaution in case one of them gets picked. But Ito going to aggress here as he gets a ping onto Aussie, but Aussie going to get the kill onto Ito, and Zev immediately going to get a secondary frag onto Summation, so it's going to be all up to the Maestro now. Going to take a lot of damage from Zev, and is going to get the kill eventually. And that'll be the round for the side of UCF.
Yeah, and of course, I mean, just not able to peek the main entrance there, and that made it really difficult. I mean, he saw somebody, he had somebody pinged, but he was too scared to go under it because of the player above him, and even though that player rotated out, just too paranoid, and it cost him kind of the round there. The Jaeger not able to really get out and do anything makes it really difficult to hold that site.
Yeah, I think Ohio State, they had the early pick there, and they just were not able to play safe once they got the man advantage there on that site. And they allowed UCF to kind of get the picks that they needed to and to execute how they wanted to and force kind of Ohio State into positions they didn't want to be in and expose some of the weaknesses of that bomb site. I mean, that entire hallway is made up of basically soft walls and or reinforced walls if you do decide to reinforce them. I mean, with the utility that UCF had brought, they were just able to kind of expose a lot of the bomb site and open up a lot of angles. So the Jackal going to be picked up here from the side of UCF. Did not see him utilized to the potential that we wanted to on Clubhouse, but on this map, I think just as good to clear out some of those roamers considering the layout of the map. The Buck, again, going to be switched out for the Sledge, so I think just a preference thing there again. But from the side of Ohio State, going to switch out onto the Valkyrie instead of the Smoke on Summation. So I think part of that might be that Summation died without using any of his utility on the Smoke, but that Valkyrie just allowing us to get a good amount of information on where they're pushing, considering there's only a couple of ways you can enter this bomb site unless you're coming from outside. It will allow Ohio State to get the information that they need and then to attack the side of UCF appropriately. Other than that, pretty standard defensive hold here. Ito was going to be playing back in Sunrise, but instead going to rotate to Blue Bar here. And potentially going to look for a opening kill here out on the Sunroom, but going to be none the wiser to those two players to his southern side. But honestly, the last round for BCF, just little uncoordinated on how they were going to push, but it didn't really matter considering they had set themselves at an advantage here, and we're a little bit more diligent on the roam clear. So I think that is a positive to see UCF adapting and being more adamant about clearing out those roamers so they can push a little bit safer.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of roaming here. They only have 2 people really waiting on site, so definitely going to try and hold this top floor, and it actually looks like Central's going to actually try and make it in there, so this could be an interesting round.
Yeah, like you said, that triple roamer from the side of Ohio State is potentially going to cause a lot of problems here for UCF. Now, they do have the Jackal, I'm sorry, but just, it's going to be all up to him to kind of give the information to his teammates on where these people are. Entry going to peek onto Zev, knowing that he's in that corner, most likely because he got drowned out, and going to put UCF up here early. Not going to be expecting Summation in circle couch, though, and he's going to draw the round back to even with 1:10 left. And UCF, while they are clearing out some of those roamers, they do lose the Jackal, but they do lose also a lot of time here. Aussie going to get a peek here into this sunroom cross, but is not going to see Ito there in that CCTV room. And with 55 seconds left, UCF has to kind of make up their mind on how they're going to approach this. And Aussie is just going to put down the claimer here. Almost gets timing by Ito. Potentially will on the run back, but does not. It looks like they're going to approach here from this western side. So with 35 seconds here left for the side of UCF, it's really going to fall onto the hands of Captain Clutch and those roamers to really pressure off UCF from the angles that they're holding in the attack that they're going to try to execute here. Ito's going to pick. Gold is going to get a kill onto Summation and put themselves back up at an advantage. But again, time is ticking down very, very rapidly here. And Clutch is going to see one cross, not going to be able to convert the kill. And looks like Central Florida is going to go for a stack on this western side. Clutch is going to get one. Going to not be able to get the second onto SMH. And it's going to be up to the Jaeger and the Maestro as they are going for the plant. And I think cancel this plant. Ito going to get a huge kill there onto Lord Gold and going to be able to save the round for Ohio State. Just UCF not protecting the planter there, and Ito just getting a free kill to save themselves the round.
Yeah, and I mean, the good distraction there by Maestro. Maestro shot a couple bullets, pulled the defender that was watching the diffuser the attacker that was watching the diffuser over there, and then able to peek and get the kill. Made it really easy for Ohio State, and honestly, great play on the attack, but just outsmarted.
Yeah, I think with those 4 people left alive, you would have hoped to see a little bit more defense on that planter, considering he was the only reason they were still in that round, as the side of UCF had let the clock run all the way down. But, just a heads up play there from Ito to play off of his Maestro, who was drawing attention, like you said, and be able to convert that final kill onto the planter and save themselves the round. So Ohio State going up 2-1 on after a couple of shaky rounds, honestly. I mean, that round was executed well by UCF, just not able to kind of finish it off, and we will see where UCF decides to attack from on this penthouse theater as Ohio State gets to go back there.
And we're honestly not seeing a lot of deaths. I mean, if you think about it, these are late matches. They're going really deep into the round, and as a result, players aren't dying. They're just not able to pull off the objective.
Yeah, for sure. I think these rounds, like you said, are really kind of being whittled down to the last little bit of time left in the round, and whether that just be a kill or even, like you said, just rounds being lost because somebody isn't executing it, like you said, I think it's going to really change up how the scoreboard looks. But another standard approach here from the side of Ohio State, bringing back the smoke instead of the Valkyrie. So we will see if Summation is able to get a little bit more utility or use out of his utility that he was bringing. Going to see the Maverick for the first time from Central Florida on this map. They were not able to execute with it effectively when they brought it as an attacker on Clubhouse, but we will see if they can switch that up, as there are a couple of walls you can Maverick and gain a little bit of an advantage on. But Ohio State here going to go for this southeastern side stack here in theater. And Entry going to be playing in that main hallway again, as it looks like the side of UCF will go for that balcony take again and potentially open up the big window and the drop down. Zev going to get an early kill onto Summation, so that utility of the smoke just gone again and wasted, I think. Summation potentially just being a little bit too aggressive. Ito going to be roaming here over by Hookah, and Clutch is going to get a kill back onto Zev, so the refrag going to even it up, and the Maverick losing a good amount of his utility as well. But a minute gone by already, and a 4-on-4 here for the side of Ohio State as they are looking to draw one more round ahead and really set themselves up in an advantageous position on the defensive side. Ito roaming back here through kitchen, and I think he hears the people above him, at least one or two, and is potentially going to go for a roam here past these hookah stairs and back into circle. Here's the thermite charge going off, so knows they're going to focus a lot of their attention here onto this B bomb site, and with the defensive approach that Ohio State has, they are really giving up that B bomb site again for free like they did on the first round. This time I think UCF is a little bit more wise to the fact of what's happening, and while Ito, it's going to be up to him to execute on some of these players in circle, UCF just has a huge advantage and going to get a kill from the ceiling just watching for the roam, but it's going to be all up to Entry, KRS, and Captain, so we will see if they can get onto this B-bomb site like they have kind of been granted by Ohio State.
Yeah, and I mean, this soft wall opens, this hard wall opens going to make it really easy for Thermite to push in here with Thatcher. It's going to make it a little bit difficult for Ohio State to hold. They now have 3 angles to watch, and that's not a spot you want to be in defending.
Lord Gold going to get 2 big kills on Kevin Clutch and Entry Fragger, and this plan from the smoke is real, or from the Thatcher is really just going to be free. Chaos going to get 2 big picks here. Actually, and is going to aggress into the site. Going to see the Thatcher, and is actually going to go huge. Going to get a 3rd kill. Here's the Legion Trap go off on the Ashes. He's going to get the 4th kill on the end, and is going to clutch out the round. A huge round there from KRS as he goes aggressive at the perfect time as the Thatcher is falling back and really saves the round there from Ohio State on a rather shoddy defense. But KRS just, man, that was a huge play.
And all in one clip, and he was able to take out 4 people, so just incredible. And knew where the diffuser was, knew that softball was open, knew where he'd rotate, pre-fired everything. Just a great round. You can't make that up.
Yeah, when Ohio State needed him the most, he showed up, and I think that just utilizing the utility that he had, I mean, he stalled them out a little bit with the Maestro, and then forced out a little bit of that utility as the Thatcher had to burn the last one just to kind of stall him out, but really saving that round from the clutches of UCF, and I just think that UCF getting a little bit sloppy there. I think they thought they had the round. They had 1 man left, 4-on-1. I mean, you get into that mentality where it's just, all right, this is our round, it's over. Just get into somewhat defensive position, and must have been a little bit of miscommunication as Thatcher pushed back and the rest of the team kind of aggressed a little bit, and KRS just able to hit his shots and save the round. But Ohio State going back, are actually going to go into the hookah lounge this time, not going to go into the service entrance like we'd seen them before. So, going to see how they can execute here on this site.
And I think maybe the logic here is that they were able to hold this when they were roaming. So if they're able to hold it while they're roaming, they might as well try holding it as a site. And it might work out. It's also kind of surprising and not a site you see a lot of attackers practice on. So, might be a good plan here for Ohio State. A little bit risky, but it wouldn't be Ohio State if it wasn't.
Yeah, for sure. I think, like you said, this bomb site here from Ohio State is really going to hinge on not only how their attackers can, or how their roamers can really gain them advantages, but also how your anchors can save yourself. Considering that they're going to have entry here onto the Maestro instead of KRS, they're going to have KRS move onto the mute. So a little bit of a different approach here, but I think still keeping the smoke and the Maestro for a good anchor presence. And we will see if they can hold and defend this bomb site successfully. Central Florida gonna keep on the Jackal, and everything else was pretty standard. I think that Ash was a pretty good pick, and I mean, realistically, that last round was a good round from UCF. It just, they were just not able to execute at the end and finish out the round, so I can't blame them for running a similar, if not identical, strategy here with the attacking setup they have. But on a bomb site we have not seen them attack yet. We'll have to see if they can kind of clear out some of these corners that Ohio State's going to be able to hold, and if they can force the roamers either back onto site or off of their corners that they're going to be holding.
Yeah, and a full drone here, once again, going to be a late round maybe. They are a little bit earlier this time at 2 minutes, and Lord Goal's pushing with this Ying a little bit. Maybe getting that C4 off is going to help them a lot on this push. So with a flashed opponent, this could be their way in.
Yeah, KRS burning that early C4, and Lord Gold is going to be playing on that balcony and get a frag onto the Jaeger. So KRS is going to refrag onto him, but still 4-on-4 with Ito down. Ito been having a huge presence in a couple of these rounds here. KRS going to find the drone, but still, it's actually, I don't know if he saw whoever was peeking in front of him. He's going to know that he's shooting at them, so knows at least there's one out on that balcony. Does not know if there's 2, but he's going to really be pinched here behind this bar as 2 people from the side of UCF are going to push him off. But KRS is just on one right now, and he's hitting all of his shots, getting an amazing shot onto Aussie, and really going to stifle the attack from UCF. I think that they're going to have to really pressure somewhere else, considering that KRS has not only been hitting all of his shots, but has been able to successfully hold this bar as they push through luggage.
Yeah, and here comes the push. It's not going to get the flash, and Ash is still going to get it off. Crouching in, almost on site at about 30 health. That's going to be a pretty difficult push, but he's still alive.
Yeah, Summation going to get the kill onto IQ, and we will see Entry Fragger get the return onto N. Just a little bit delayed, but still. Summation going to get the shot onto SMH, and that's going to be the round for Ohio State there. But KRS hitting the shots that he needs to, missing a couple of the easier shots, but I think that from the side of Ohio State, they're a pretty successful defense, positioning themselves well for that luggage and balcony take, and overall just holding when they needed to and putting themselves in a very advantageous position as they go into their last round of defense.
Yeah, and I mean, doing pretty well here, Ohio State, but now, got to see what they're going to do here differently. They're going to take the rook again, so sticking with the same strategy, but I mean, going into round 6 and having 4 wins already, it makes you feel pretty comfortable as Ohio State compared to last game.
Yeah, especially as you executed pretty well on your defensive side of that last map, being able to kind of replicate some of that success and continue that momentum that you had is got to feel good for Ohio State. Going to switch on to the rook, so we will see the ACOG back in use. They were able to get a good amount of use on the dock when they played it earlier on that upper bomb site, but the last time they held this bomb site, they were kind of punished for being a little too aggressive and left their last couple of defenders in disadvantageous positions, other than when Ito was able to save the round and kill the diffuser.
Yep, and I mean, a very risky situation they were in last time. A lot of roamers. They had 3 roamers, but it worked out. I mean, they were able to rotate back on site. And so the question is, do you roam again and risk it, but still be able to retake? Or do you stay on site and see what you can do on the fundamentals holding angles?
Yeah, I think this is going to be an interesting decision that Ohio State has to make here. They have decided to go with this castle, though, instead of the smoke that we have seen before, or even the Valkyrie that we've seen before from Summation. So, looking to kind of funnel UCF into a couple of different attacks instead of just allowing them to kind of get free reign of the site if they find an advantage. But other than that, we will see a 2-man roam from the side of Ohio State with Summation and Ito, and then the rest will be holding on the site, which is, I think pretty standard here with the Legion and the Maestro. And usually you can sometimes see a rook roaming with that ACOG, just being very aggressive and peeking angles because you have that ACOG on your MP5. But it looks like a similar attack here from the side of UCF as they're going to approach that eastern main entrance and potentially have somebody pinching on that northern window. But Summation going to rotate back here through the central area and not going to be punished, as we've seen UCF have a little bit of success playing up on that rooftop, but not this round. Going to get aggressive here behind the main desk wall and going to put himself in a very advantageous position until he gets drowned out by Aussie. So Ito going to be playing off of him in the CCTV area, but we will see how UCF can pressure this main entrance take that they look like they are planning on. Going to have the sledge from above open up some of these sight lines and potentially pressure Captain Clutch out of this corner that he's in, although he has not found him yet. And with 1 minute and 40 seconds already gone, UCF has honestly not garnered themselves a lot of positional advantages here. So Summation going to aggress onto the IQ and going to trade a good amount of damage onto her. But still, doing his job and really just stalling them out, forcing UCF to kind of rethink how they're going to approach this, because there's only 1 minute left. They've already traded a good amount of damage onto them, and we will see if they decide to just kind of brute force it or switch it off. But as I say that, Summation gets picked up by SMH, and that's going to grant them a lot of pressure here into the main site. Entry going to get a kill onto Zev, and is going to be refragged by SMH. So Central Florida kind of putting themselves in an advantage here until Ito gets a secondary frag. Ito going to hear this guy by the desk and is going to get the frag onto Aussie, so putting themselves at another advantage and going to get a second one onto N. Ito going big here in this 6th round, as it's all up to Lord Gold on the side of UCF. Going to hear the Ying jump under the Legion trap and is going to trade from Ito. So Ito getting, I think, his 3rd or 4th kill there in that round, and really just popping off for the side of Ohio State.
Yeah, just single players able to play their positions and popping off. That's what we're seeing. I mean, they're getting in a good position. You can't argue with that. But going on to the attacker side, having 5 rounds is a huge advantage. They only need to get 2 rounds here in order to end the map and the match. And so Ohio State's definitely feeling comfortable, but they also have no experience on this attacking side yet. So we'll have to see how it goes with the 2 hard with the one hard breacher and the two soft breachers.
Yeah, Ito and Summation really playing off each other really well that last round. I think Summation, while he bought himself a lot of time, he bought himself a lot of pressure too behind that main desk wall. And then as he pushed out and was killed, I think Ito was able to really play off of him well and get those 3 or 4 kills that we saw him get in that last round. So we're going to see the buck as it looks like UCF is going to go into that hookah billiards room. So not going to opt for the penthouse theater defense. And we will see how Ohio State decides to attack this. They do have the Blackbeard and the Jackal to clear the roamers. Blackbeard to hold those angles, obviously. And we're going to see the Vigil from UCF. So N has been really kind of switching up on who he's playing. Sometimes playing the Alibi for the roam. Now going to see the Vigil. But everybody else, pretty standard here. The Pulse, probably going to be looking to play below in that Sunrise bar. And then the Castle to just kind of prevent some of the more standard and easier attacks here onto this bomb site. But other than that, I think we will be able to see how Ohio State carries the momentum, like you said, from those first couple of rounds and even from the last rounds of the last map onto this attacking site. As we haven't really seen them attack on this site or on this map at all, really, and we haven't seen them have much success attacking it except for some of the later rounds last map.
Yeah, and I mean, the defense here is pretty similar to what they were up against. So if they were practicing what they're up against, then of course they might be ready for this. Of course, the Castle blocking off some of the good entrances here, but not ones that they were going to go for. So maybe a good attack here with the soft breachers and the Blackbeard could be the difference between, Central Florida's attack and between Ohio State's attack.
Yeah, it looks like at least Clutch and potentially KRS are going to pressure here into this Sunrise bar area. Ito has already gotten into kitchen, it looks like, and KRS is going to go up onto this roof above Hookah, as it looks like there is a 3-man anchor play from the side of Central Florida with Zev playing in a different position. But Summation already down a lot of health here as he has been peeked by somebody from the side of UCF in the CCTV area. A good amount of damage done onto him, and potentially looking for a reset here, but with 1 minute and 40 seconds left, you do have the time, but this nade potentially finding its home, they're going to do a good amount of damage to the Vigil. And Summation with what looks like probably 2 or 3 health, and we will see how he is utilized on the side of Ohio State as they have 1 minute and 30 seconds left to push. And they have not made a ton of progress. You're still struggling to clear some of the roamers. Ito going to drone out this man in.
And that Jackal spot as well coming out earlier was really helpful for Ohio State. They've secured 2 frags now, so this round is really in their favor. And they still have utility on the Jackal, and they still have utility on the Blackbeard, though he is knocked a little bit low by some body shots through this window that he's peeking.
Yeah, Summation going to get reset here, and like you said, the round kind of all of a sudden falling into the favor of Ohio State as the Pulse and the Vigil get killed along with the Castle. So it's going to be up to the Maestro and the Legion from the side of UCF as Karis opens up that reinforced wall in Aquarium into Billiards. Going to spray in, not going to find any shots through the reinforced wall onto the Maestro, but Entry Fragger going to find a little bit more damage from the side of Aussie, and Aussie going to get a really good shot there onto KRS. Ito is going to be picked off by Lord Gold. Gold going to get a second onto Clutch, and it's really going to be up to Entry and Summation now with 20 seconds left. They're going to have to push into some pretty disadvantageous angles here to get into this bomb site. Entry not going to find the damage onto Aussie and is going to get free fragged by Gold as Aussie finishes up the round. And kind of a messy secondary approach there with the attack Ohio State had. I mean, they really put themselves in an advantage being up 3, but not able to convert successfully, and Lord Gold and Aussie just really holding that defensive site well.
Yeah, taking out a roamer with the Jackal and taking out a roamer with the drone helped a lot, but it ended up screwing them up that they weren't able to get on site, and it was a little late in the round, so everybody low health and not able to convert. Not going to get around off that.
Yeah, for sure. I think Ohio State just not being able to execute with the time that they left themselves on that site, and kind of stalling out there and forcing themselves into some very bad gunfights. And realistically, when you have that Legion left and when you have the Maestro left, you've given them so much time to set up, and you've given the Legion really a lot of time to lay a lot of his mines down that you can just let them come to you, and you're going to hear them trigger the trap. You're going to get damaged by those traps, and you're just going to have to push into the Legion in a time that you don't want to be pushing into somebody as you need to execute. But from the side of Ohio State, we will see realistically no major switches here, as they're going to have to attack and try to gain back some of the momentum that they lost probably in that round. Going to be attacking here onto this penthouse theater, and from the side of Central Florida, a pretty similar approach here. Going to go with the Doc and the Valkyrie this time instead of the Vigil, but we will see if they can repeat the success that they have had on the defense, or if Ohio State can find an advantage and put themselves on match and map point.
Yeah, and I mean, this Valkyrie is pretty helpful on the site, but, dropping that Vigil, which helped them out a lot last round, might be a little risky. So, kind of an interesting strategy, but with not much leeway, if you find something that works, sometimes it's not the best to change.
Yeah, for sure. I think sticking with something that works, especially when you're in the position that you're in, down 3 rounds, what was 4 rounds, you kind of should find, like you said, that recipe that works for you and just kind of go with it. But we will see if they're punished for dropping the Vigil or if they can repeat the success. N is going to be roaming here along with Zev below the B bomb site. So a relatively standard kind of defense here with the triple defensive setup and double roam. Lord going to be in this B bomb site, but at the same time, I think with the way that Central Florida has positioned themselves, they're kind of giving up that B bomb site pressure a lot, just like Ohio State did. Ito's going to get a very, very early pick there onto Zev. 40 seconds into the round, and Ohio State has already found themselves their first advantage. But like I was saying, I think that B-bomb site could be a relatively strong point for Ohio State to pressure onto, considering now that there's only one more roamer, and there's only one person holding that B-bomb site. So with the minute gone, Ohio State's going to look to execute here. Looks like Ito is going to blow open this hatch, and is probably going to find a good amount of damage here onto Legion if he does, but decides he is not going to. And, oh, that's just going to be a free kill there from Summation. Going to instead use the Buck. Not going to burn any of the Ash utility. And going to push up this main stairway into, I think that is the Jaeger playing in luggage. Yes, going to be the Jaeger playing in luggage. He has been jackaled out, so they know he's over there. Going to know he's still there with that ping again, but he's going to fall back through Aquarium and into Billiards. And Ohio State still looking on the roam clear. Captain Clutch cannot land the shots on N, and N, while being jackaled out, still finds the kill. And that's going to be the end of the jackal here. With a minute 15 seconds left, Ohio State needs to start to pressure and execute, as they do not want to be stalled out again like they were last round.
Yeah, and I mean, they're doing what they need to do, which is clear out the roamers. And, Florida's not having the best time getting the roamers, and there's a nice dock stem that's going to save him there, but the flash is going to make it difficult, and he's going to go down. But, getting the roamers is important, and even after doing it, they're still having difficulty taking the site. And
yeah, Smishing with a really nice nade there onto the dock, but Ito is going to be refragged on, and that is going to put Ohio State at a 3-on-2 advantage. But with 35 seconds left, they've blown open this space. They're able to get the plant down now. We will see if they can hold, as they have the cross with the Blackbeard and with the Buck. Kara's going to get the plant. Summation is going to defend him as N tries to go for a flank unsuccessfully. So, a pretty strong round there from the side of Ohio State. I think pressuring when they needed to, obviously taking a little bit more time than they probably wanted to, but at the same time, you clear out the roamers rather successfully. You don't put yourself in too disadvantageous of a spot, and you pressure the right bomb site when you need to, and win the round overall. So that is going to be match and map point here for the side of Ohio State, with Central Florida potentially going to switch sites, but instead they're going to repeat that site. So I think they're confident in their hold on this side, maybe just a little bit of an execution error on the defensive side. Ohio State going to run a similar setup, going to have the Ying this time, but UCF going to go with a similar setup here, going to have the Mute instead this time also. So we will see if they can get some of the utility out of these operators that they are bringing. I think the Legion and the Maestro, again, are very strong picks on this site. And the Doc, if he's able to survive, can really put your team in an advantageous position towards the end of the rounds if somebody's able to peak with 130 health and really be a little bit more aggressive than they need to be. It's going to 6-pick onto the smoke, and we will see if they can utilize the smoke, because we haven't seen a lot of smoke outside of UCF.
Yeah, but we haven't seen a lot of use out of the mute at all. So maybe a good switch there. Definitely not what they were defending with the first time, and once again mixing it up as they're going into this, what could be their last round if they're not able to defend in, a comfortable site, but one in which they need the roamers to appear here. I mean, the quietness that we've seen from the roamers in the last 2 rounds it's not enough on defense. You have to be able to get at least one kill as they're trying to do their entries, and they just haven't been able to do it.
Yeah, and it looks like Central Florida potentially going to go for a more defensive anchor style of approach with the smoke and the Meister along with the Legion and the Dock. So I would guess that they're probably going to have that Jaeger room, and maybe that's it. They're just going to hope that Ohio State pushes into them and takes disadvantageous fights, because if they're going to have Zev roam with the smoke and they're not going to be able to utilize the utility that you get with that pick, then I really am not a big fan of that pick. But maybe have somebody else roam. Potentially, it looks like it's going to be SMH actually instead. So I'm going to use the ACOG that is given to him and going to be able to play in this billiard site. But other than that, Ohio State going for a pretty standard approach here. It looks like potentially on that eastern side, as we have SMH and N roaming around here. N going to be playing in kitchen, is going to be droned out, and Ohio State's going to also go for the balcony push here too. Going to re-peek into kitchen, and is not going to be able to find the Ash as Ito finds another kill. Having a heck of a match and having a heck of a map here too, honestly. Just coming up clutch for Ohio State when they need him. And SMH going to get a kill onto clutch, and that is going to draw the round even with 1 minute and 50 seconds left. So Ohio State losing the Jackal, so not going to be able to effectively roam clear the Dock if he is still roaming, but they do look like they have a good amount of pressure here, potentially already in the circle couch.
Yeah, and I mean, that Jackal is a big loss, but of course, getting him back on site now and making sure there isn't a roamer is going to make the attack easier. It's an evenly matched fight here. Ash is, of course, at half health, which isn't going to help, but Ash is also a pretty good attacker, and so, able to run across there, small hitbox is going to help, and now going to try and get rid of this Maestro cam, most likely.
Yeah, Ohio State, with 1 minute and 10 seconds left, needs to start to execute here as they find themselves pretty much pushed up into sight. They pretty much room cleared all that they need to, and going to know that Meister is there, so he continually gets pinged out, but not going to be able to do anything about it realistically. Looks like Karas is going to spray through the wall. Not going to find the kill, rather Summation will onto Aussie. Summation going to aggress here into this hallway. Is going to take a little bit of damage from the Legion mine, but now knows there's at least 1 or 2 in the theater. Going to see 1. Not going to land the shots. Going to push back as his team executes onto the B-bomb site. Karas going to blow open that bedroom wall, and Summation is going to push as entry is in bathroom. So the smoke really going to be pushed into a very difficult position here as entry fragger is in this bathroom. And Rock Hall going to find a good amount of damage onto him, but not going to be able to convert the kill. Lord Gold going to get a huge kill on the Summation. Entry going to refrag on the Zev, and it's going to be a 3-on-2 here with 15 seconds left. Ohio State needs to begin to execute, or at least plant. As I say that, Karas does get the bomb down, and it's going to be all up to Lord and SMH to save UCF from this potential map loss. Entry going to get a kill on SMH. Is going to be all up to the 30 or 40 health here of Lord Gold. And so Ohio State knows he's in that theater, and KRS going to get the kill as he crosses. And that will be the match and the map for Ohio State. So really carrying that momentum that they found in the second half of that clubhouse attack into the second map, and having a very strong showing overall, I think.
Yeah, and I mean, great showing by Ito Kitso. The same showing that we saw from Summation last round, or last map. And so, just seeing individual players play out and playing very well and helping out their team, of course, nothing to laugh at with KRST and Summation's 8 kills there. So definitely a great round from Ohio State and able to pull that one out. Doing well and moving into the week 4. So, of course, feel free to follow if you don't want to miss any of our content. Of course, we have streams coming up tomorrow and Sunday, so look out for those. And thank you all for watching.
Yeah. From us at OSU Esports, it's me, Grifster, and
me, Currency.
we'll see you next time.